And as we learn more about the suspect in this case, the victims and their families will have a long road ahead of them. Dr. Joshua Weiner joins us this morning with more on that trauma that they're facing. And good morning. Thanks for coming in to talk about this.
Thanks.
What about those people who were there, the ones who were injured, the families of those who were killed? Tell us a little bit about what they must be going through right now.
They're probably experiencing a flood of so many emotions, it's probably hard for them to even identify any one single emotion. In fact, probably many of them are feeling this term called dissociation, where you just feel numb. It's as if what just occurred wasn't even real. It was a nightmare. It was a bad dream. Some of them are probably going to start feeling pretty soon some element of survivor's guilt, wondering, why was I okay when the person next to me got shot and was killed? So the flood of emotions is just going to be incredible for these people. They have a long haul ahead of them. Some of them are going to have problems with sleep, nightmares, just getting depressed, feeling numb, going through grief. They may have lost friends and other loved ones there. So it's going to run the range of emotions, and it's going to take a lot of time for these people to heal. Generally, when people experience a major trauma, statistically, about 15% of them will go on to develop post-traumatic stress disorder.
Very often in these kinds of situations, particularly when it involves young people, psychiatrists and psychologists are brought in to help them deal with this kind of tragedy. Is this what you can expect to happen out there?
Absolutely. I'm sure they're going to be bringing in a number of mental health providers, trying to allow everybody to have an opportunity to process what happened. Generally, what you want to do is you want to have people have the opportunity to talk in vivid detail, second by second, about what happened, to allow them to process it and not have it end up having a long-term detrimental effect for them. So you're going to want to do that. Now with family members, what family members and loved ones are going to want to do with the survivors is they're going to want to allow that person to talk about things in detail. I do not think it's a good idea for people, whenever they're experiencing a trauma and you're the person trying to help that person, it's not helpful to say, well, look, it's really great that you lived. You just have to be thankful that you survived. That's not
a good thing.
That's not really helpful. I think the most helpful thing for people to do who are trying to help is to just try to understand. That should be their main goal. Ask questions, try to understand exactly how that person's feeling. Don't try to make them feel better. It probably won't make them feel better.
Let's talk a little bit about the suspect. This man apparently had planned this. He had tear gas or some sort of gas canister. What kind of, and weapons, I think 4 weapons they're saying. What would be his mental state of mind, do you think? Just trying to guess.
Right, it's so hard to know, but clearly this is a very, very sick man, and he was possibly psychotic. So what I mean by psychotic is that he's out of touch with reality, doesn't really recognize the consequences of his actions. Maybe that's because of drugs, maybe that's because of a mental illness like schizophrenia, where you're hearing voices, having delusions, being told by voices in your head telling you need to do this for some reason. I think it's also possible maybe that this person felt like their life was just worthless, meaningless. They had depression and anger and felt like they could make a difference, albeit a very sick difference, by going out and creating a mass atrocity. Now everybody's going to know who this person is, and somehow that may make him feel like he's important and his life has meant something.
Quickly, well, should there have been any sign of this kind of behavior coming for his family, for friends who might have known him? Is there anything that we could have said, hey, this guy, we better watch him?
Well, I think that what you have to do is you need to look back and find out whether this person has had a mental illness that wasn't being treated, whether they've been acting in very strange ways, whether they've been talking and acting as if they're talking to people who aren't there, if they're stockpiling weapons and so forth. These are signs that something probably ominous is up ahead.
Dr. Joshua Weiner, thanks for stopping what you were doing and coming in to help us out with this today.
Sure, my pleasure,
Appreciate you
Barbara.
being here.